Amazing. Alanna, you're up. It's your turn. Take it from here.
Wonderful. Well, hello again. It's wonderful to be in this Zoom call with all these powerful women. I wasn't expecting that it would be all women, but this is sort of what I'm used to in my forte. I actually run women's circles as well, and so it's kind of giving me that vibe, and it's nice. Nice place to come together and get to know each other, connect and share. And as I was saying, I am a holistic health coach. So I was connected with P last summer. She was visiting here. We have some mutual friends, and we immediately bonded over travel and wellness and entrepreneurship. So that's how I got affiliated with P and then later AJ. So I'm happy to be here. As I said earlier, I work primarily with women. So I facilitate personal health transformations in order to live a more balanced life with simple bite-sized lifestyle shifts that are easy to incorporate into everyday life. And so this encompasses all aspects of life, which I like to call life balance, and as well as nutrition. So I can start by saying that nutrition is not only the food that we eat, but it's also in our state of life balance. So in the work that I do with my clients, a core concept of our work is to assess the areas of life where one might be feeling balanced or unbalanced. And how we feel in those areas can really affect our lives, our productivity, our joy, and then, spill out into other areas of our lives as well. So it's nice to have a visual and to pinpoint what areas in our lives are really serving us and ones where we can set an intention to improve and feel more well-rounded in. So these areas can be things like home environment, spirituality, creativity, finances, our career, and many more. So these areas depict on a high level of how nourished we feel, even though it has nothing to do with food at the moment. So I just want you to think of a scenario where you feel physically, emotionally, and spiritually full. And just sort of visualize this moment for a second. And in this moment, you're feeling so connected to this wonderful moment that you're in. And it could be an experience or spending time outside with family or really doing something that lights you up. You often don't feel hungry. You're not thinking about food. You're so nourished in that moment. So the time seems to pass and your energy never depletes because of this extreme sense of fulfillment and that nourishment. And it contributes to your health, and you're experiencing that in this moment. And this is life balance when we're in flow. So this is why there's two types of nutrition, the life balance aspect and then the food aspect, which actually comes second. So secondly, the food that we choose to eat also nourishes our bodies. Whole foods and mostly plants from the earth give us our energy and our longevity. So what we choose to consume is really important. Over time, as we grow and we get older, our palates change when we decide to inhabit a lifestyle of wholesome foods into our bodies, which turn into energy, a balanced mood, good sleep, and so many more positive things for our optimal living. So now that I practice these and incorporate them into my lifestyle, the aspect of the life balance and then the nutrition, the way that I choose my food is different. It's not always due to my cravings, and cravings are important because our body is so intelligent. It's often telling us what it needs without us even having to really tune in and think about it. For example, if we're craving carbs and sugar, we're probably lacking energy, and that's why the craving comes up and is asking us for that boost. So it's telling us what we need, might be needing in our bodies at a given time. But now when I'm deciding to eat and feeling into what my body needs, it's no longer for necessarily like taste and preference, it's more intuitive. So as we tune into our bodies and get to know them and introspect, we become more intuitive and we learn more of what our body craves and the nourishment that it needs every day. So that's just the secondary aspect of nutrition. Today, we're going to be focusing on the primary aspect, the life balance aspect. So in the chat, I shared a file, and if possible, it'd be nice if everyone could fill out this life balance assessment tool. So in this tool, you can open it up. Is everyone able to open it? If any issues come up, just send in the chat or feel free to speak up.
Can you send it again? I don't see it because I
Yeah.
just logged out and back in. Thank you.
Yeah, so opening this tool, we use it in order to assess our current state of life balance. So this tool is intended to give you a clear picture of how balanced you may be feeling and how to pinpoint on areas of stuckness. So you may have done, like we're all in business, you may have done something similar to this. And I think it's just a really great tool, and it's great to do every so often because things change and shift on this wheel pretty frequently, especially when we're intentionally trying to open up and have a more well-rounded and balanced sense of lifestyle. So yeah, when we open up the tool, which I'm going to do as well, you can see the circle. So if you look over all of the sections in the circle and place a dot to indicate your level of satisfaction in each area, we will create our own personal circle. So a dot towards the center of the wheel indicates dissatisfaction. So we can rate how we're feeling in each area. And as I said, dot towards the center is an area of dissatisfaction. So the closer to the middle, the more unbalanced you're currently feeling. And definitely don't get discouraged, because once we take a look at this and see it and make it tangible, it's so easy to balance out these areas with a little intention set and a little aligned action. So the dot towards the outer edge indicates satisfaction. So if you're able to draw, go ahead and fill out your circle, your wheel. And then once you put a dot on each section, I believe there are 12, connect your dots and observe your circle and observe your shape.
Alanna, could you screen share the circle so people on the recording can see it too? Awesome.
Can you see it?
Yeah, perfect.
So if I can draw, that'd be nice. Yeah, so for example, if you're medium about your spirituality, but feeling really creative, and I'm just doing like a hypothetical example here, you'll connect and you'll find your shape. And I like the shape because it sticks out in my mind, and then I remember my intention. It helps me to be like, okay, this is where I'm at, and these are the areas that I want to balance. So once you find your circle and your shape is created, my crazy shape here, I want you to look at the 3 areas where you may be feeling unbalanced at the moment. So your lowest 3. And just take a look at them and maybe think about how those could interconnect and why maybe all 3 of those are currently your lowest pieces, the lowest pieces of your life where you're feeling balanced. Maybe they have a relationship to each other, which they all do, but to know the ones that may be throwing us off is really helpful. And then I want you to choose your lowest one. And just feel into it. And if anything comes up, just feel into that emotion or breathe through it. Because I know, sometimes seeing this can be jarring at first, but we're going to work together to make it feel a little bit more soft. And we're going to move into it with some flow and some connection based on what we might be feeling right now. So by using a single pointed focus and narrowing down these areas, it's great to choose one that we would like to cultivate, because when we choose the one and we start to take aligned action towards creating balance for ourselves in that area, all of the other areas on the circle will start to go out towards the center, even by just focusing on that one. So when we set this intention, we are slowly and gradually setting the mechanics into motion to bring all these areas back into balance. So setting an intention for the one area in which you would like to focus on right now and cultivate. Does anyone want to share what their intention might be, if you're feeling bold and brave to share what your lowest one might be, so that we can support each other and connect on this? Yeah.
I'll share. I had my lowest three were physical activity, at least like right now, this point in my life, health and nutrition, I would say. So the three, like literally the three at the bottom. So the circles, the line that I had going, everything else seems to be fine. So my focus needs to be there, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yeah. What a great indication. And they're all three in line. So it's like you have one portion of this wheel that now you visibly and tangibly can see like where you want to put your focus. So choosing just one, maybe it's your lowest one, or one that you think, you would like to focus on now. Do you have an intention in mind to bring that one up, bring your dot farther out to the edge of the circle as opposed to the center?
Yeah, definitely. I have to get back into my workout routines. I think that's the real answer there, because I haven't been doing that in a while. And it's taking me a while to get back into it. So I think I have the intention. It's just I just have to go and do it kind of thing. And I think that is the gap that I kind of need maybe some help with. So I don't know if you have any thing about that, but I think that's where I'm at with that intention.
Yeah. Can I ask you right now, what's your biggest roadblock currently that's keeping you from going and doing those workouts?
Discipline. Like I don't have discipline right now because we've been working from home and we have all these random routines now, right? So I just feel disconnected in terms of having a routine for my body. Everything else is fine. Work is okay, and I have a routine for everything else. But I feel like you actually did ask a good question. That where is the So I think that's it. I'm feeling I don't have a routine for my workouts yet.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. And now that that's been brought to light in your mind, and you've kind of gained some clarity from that, I could see you developing some aligned action and some habit shifting in order to do that. Yeah. Thanks, P. Does anyone else want to share about their circle?
I can share.
Great.
You can all play. Okay, so my lowest points are my finances and home environment. And the reason for it is because I'm currently building my home and we have extreme amount of financial burdens on ourselves, and not a proper house to live in. Therefore, the money I make is also low, but then the expenses are really high. So I'm really, that's the most stressing thing in my life. I think everything else is sort of like equally balanced, but those two things just, the lowest for me.
And so if you could choose one of the pieces, could you think of or cultivate an intention that will help sort of guide you on this path and in this current state that you're in?
Oh, I don't even know. Yeah, I just feel like there is time, like I need time, and it's a process for the home to get built. And then the finances will be okay. So what I cultivate is just don't panic, just keep going, and everything will be sorted out. So that's sort of what my intention is and my strategy is.
I love it. I love the intention. Don't panic and just trust and definitely connect to the abundance mindset that's in you, because I know it's there. I can see it in you. Thank you.
I think Susan had her hand up too.
Yes, I saw it.
So maybe.
I did. Thank you, Paranita. And I'm sorry. It's funny. I was going to say my dots are kind of in the opposite order to Paranita's. So my health and all of that, I think, is excellent. Except that right now I'm having a sneezing attack because I'm allergic to something here. So I keep going off the camera because I have to sneeze or something. So anyway, but yeah, so mine are, the opposite of Paranita's, in terms of the the highest, lowest. So my highest ones are my physical health and nutrition, and joy is another one. And then my lowest is my finances, because I think I'm putting so much energy into, and I will continue to do so, into building joy and having good nutrition and good health. But I need to put some focus. My intention is to put some focus on my finances as well, because I really just haven't put much focus there.
Thank you for sharing. And if you're interested in going a little deeper, what would that focus look like for you?
I think it would look like perhaps creating some goals and some steps to work toward those goals. I'm also a believer that, you attract things. So that's one reason that I do want to focus on building my joy and sharing it and so on, because I want to attract good energy. And I think that finances come along with that. So I'm an MBA. So I'm so focused on writing down goals and making steps toward them. So that's sort of my natural instinct. And I'm learning to be more, more open to the universe helping me with these things.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Is anyone else interested in sharing about their circle? All right. Well, thank you for engaging in this exercise with me and listening to what I have to say. I hope it brought some value to you, and you can make your intention on your own time and in your own space, and maybe journal about it or just reflect on it. And hopefully seeing this visually in front of you sort of sheds some light on your current state. And it's always great to set goals and have things to work towards. So hopefully this resonates, and thanks for hearing what I have to say.
Thank you. That's amazing, Alanna. I love how you designed this circle too, because I've seen this circle so many times. And I love the color choices that you have and the fonts. It's very soulful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess
may I just say, I really love your approach of, that your physical well-being, that nutrition is second. I think it's a really important element, but I do think that our mindset and all of that is really the first priority. So I really love how you approach this. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
I have some questions actually. So one of the things that you said, like connecting with the body, and that way you can find like intuitive solutions. And I guess just to be a little more specific, like how, in your experience, how do you have strategies to build that mind-body connection on the regular basis, like in your daily routine? Because I feel like when we're working, we live outside of our body, we live in our brains, or when we think about future or the past, probably our soul is traveling to somewhere else outside of our body. And how do you have little tips to bring that soul back into our body and be more connected?
I love that question. I could say so much about that. It's been such a journey for me over time. And I think you're in a beautiful position right now, being in Mexico and being, in all the lush plants and fruits. And I believe that my journey, a big part of my journey is mindfulness, and just incorporating that mindfulness, whether it's in my outside surroundings or inside my body, and really tuning into what's around me. And it's been a practice over many years. And I know you do yoga as well. So that's a beautiful, connective, mindful practice. But I almost feel like there's this mindful muscle that we cultivate. And the more mindful we become, the more energetically sensitive we are to everything. And so I feel that I have that in my body. So when I'm getting sick, I feel it immediately. I feel the first little tingle in my body, and I know that I'm getting sick. And so I think it's really tuning in and allowing yourself allowing yourself to feel into what's happening in your body, whether it's after you're eating, whether it's when you wake up in the morning, and and tuning into what your body needs, and doing a lot more feeling as opposed to thinking. Yeah, I would say that that's definitely what it is for me. And for you, I think, like I said, like being in Mexico, I definitely say like go play and explore and like feel into like what foods are nourishing you right now, because you're in a different geographic location as well. So your body might be craving different things, such as tropical fruits or, you know, really fresh fruits, cooling foods. So yeah, just explore and then introspect after.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great tip.
I just wanted to add, because I think you raised such an important point, and I think what you talked about, connection of nutrition, isn't it? And when you really, what happens when we eat the foods or do things that's not kind of helpful for us? Well, I certainly know for myself, it's really when something's out of alignment, we're either too stressed, we're either too rushed, or something else, an emotional side happening that kind of needs this craving, needs this satisfaction. And especially, I guess one thing I can say in terms of business side, because if you think about majority of our life is doing some, you know, either it's running your own business or working, like that's a big chunk of the day. Mm-hmm. And if that big chunk of the day is actually really tiring, like really draining is a good way to describe it, not thrilling, not energizing, that can really impact other areas of life, such as relationship, foods, etc. But when we are just like loving each day, each minute that we do, like just it fills us with so much energy. Like you don't, as you said, you don't think about food, you don't think about snacks, you don't think about treats, you don't need it. You're so elated. And also you're so present. You know, and this connection to body and soul, like you're so in the moment present because it's so much fun. And, you know, everything else becomes easy, but it's just finding that fun. And I guess one thing I would say that helps me and certainly helps a lot of my clients is leaning into what feels joy. What in your life, just noticing how it feels, like what feels really fun. Well, it feels so easy, so natural. You're like wondering, how could that even be valuable? That is your area of genius. That's the area to lean into fully. Because sometimes we think it should be difficult. We think like money should be difficult. We think success, like we have to earn it. Well, actually, it's the opposite of that. What's the easiest, what's the most natural, what's the most just like you can do it for free, you can do it for fun. That's the one. That's the one. That's the area of your personal strength. So yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Thank you so much.
No, I completely resonate with that. Yeah, it is that. Because I find like the biggest challenge when, Pernita, you were saying like, just don't have them. I think it's mostly about energy. Like we need to manage your energy to have, if your life is so draining, then you lack that battery to make that conscious decision. Okay, I want to go exercise, or I want to eat or prepare a really good healthy food. Then you just go for the emotional choices. And so I would think that it's all about like balancing energy. And yeah.
I want to say I love the word you used, Alanna, treats. I think that's such a key word. Actually, I want to write that down because so often I have eaten or my issue is with wine too. So I want a glass of wine as a treat because I've had a hard day or because of whatever. I'm not always conscious of it, but I feel like I deserve a treat. And it's a less healthy choice than I necessarily want to make. I mean, I can have a glass of wine in a pure joy situation, and it is pure joy to have the wine, and it's not because it's a treat. But when I think of it as a treat because of something, that's when, you know, Alanna, you were talking about the mindfulness. It's about being aware of why we want something. And if we think it's a treat because we deserve a treat because we've had a rough day or something, then it's not really the food that we need. It's not that food that we need. It's something else that we need. And being aware of that is really important. So I think treats is a great word. Thank you for using that.
I just wanted to say I've always loved how, even when I met Alanna in BC last year, I mean, we connected over a lot of different things and kind of bonded because our energies were so alike. But at that time, I was still talking to her about nutrition. And I love how she always used the word nutrition instead of food. And that actually left a mark on my head too. And that's what I say now. I always say nourishment, nutrition. I never use the word just food, because once you start thinking of that, it's like a lot of the stuff we indulge in, again, once in a while you will, you realize that it's really like, what's the point or what's the use of all of this? Like, if you want to treat your body as a temple or something like that, then wouldn't you, think more about nutrition and nourishment? So I just wanted to add that did leave a mark for me, at least back in like the summer when I met you. And it stayed with me. So that's how I think of food now. So every time I'm making a choice to eat something, that literally, it's like a bell goes off in my head. It's like, oh, really, P, like this one? Or like, well, what are we doing right now? Right. So that is helpful too.
I love that. And I love thinking of in terms of like, yeah, nourishment. How can I nourish myself? And that's really the question to ask, is how can I nourish myself in my life balance and in my nutrition as well?
I have one more question. When I think about food, I've over the years, I've lost quite a lot of weight, and I grew up in a very body conscious society, and my surrounding was always judging. I mean, I think in many cultures, this is the case. And so even today, I've done a lot of work over it, but even today I eat with guilt. Like, I know this, I'm aware of it, but sometimes I find myself, I have a little bit of carb or sugar or something like that, or a glass of wine, like Susan was saying, but eating with the sense of guilt. And I am aware of it sometimes, and I'm aware when it happens now. And so what are the effects of this emotional state, or how can we overcome this sense of guilt around food?
Thank you for sharing. I feel like it's so relatable, and that's your words are so relatable in it as a woman, and also just someone who lives in a very like guilt based society, I feel like I could say. And we as women, I think we do feel a lot of shame, and I don't want to project that onto everybody, but I just resonate with what you're saying. And I feel like by using mindfulness, as I said, and asking yourself that question of how can I nourish myself, and really like taking the time to offer that self-care to yourself in that moment of, emotion, or when you're reaching for something that isn't optimal for your body. And like, of course it's okay to have treats. Like, I love treats. I'm never going to say that we shouldn't have treats and things like that. But in those moments of emotionality, or when you feel you're eating and it's going to make you feel guilty, just to take a step back and set an intention for why you're eating that food, and think about like if you're honoring what's coming up for you by eating that food, or maybe it's a state change you need. Maybe you're in that emotional state and you think food is this state change that I need to get out of this emotional feeling that I'm feeling that's uncomfortable. And a state change can be anything, like getting up and going for a walk, switching your activity. If you have a pet, you have cats, go grab a cat and cuddle. A state change is really powerful when we're emotional, and people who are closest to me really know when I need a state change as well. So the people around you and who are close to you are going to notice when you need that state change as well, and support you. So I think firstly, just taking that step back and asking yourself, what do I really need? How can I nourish myself? Whether it's food or a shift in your current state of life in that moment, and just honoring and respecting yourself for what comes up, and definitely not being hard on yourself in that moment, and being kind to yourself. And it's a process, and it's a journey for sure. And it's non-linear as well. So yeah.
Yeah, one thing I actually just wanted to say, one thing I've started doing, or someone told me, well, in the moment where you're going to be eating the treat or whatever you call it, the dessert, the carb, that's something that associates with guilt, I sometimes bless it. I send the blessing to this food, like bless it. You're going to eat it, but just like, can you bless it? Like say a prayer to this piece of food to be the most nourishing, beautiful thing that can just do so much good to your body. Yeah, let's just put in different energy to it, but don't know if that's helpful.
I love that. Actually, I do something like that. I practice forgiveness, but I love sending love to the food, even though it may or may not be the right food for you at the time, but just sending love to the food or to yourself, I think, will heal the moment. Yeah, because it's just a matter of that emotion. You're eating the emotion, and the guilt creates a lot of like health issues. Not necessarily the food itself, but the feeling that we impose on it. Right? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. Karen, you've been very quiet, so I was wondering, just ask you if you have anything to add.
Yes, actually, I'm just taking all of this in, and I fully resonate with what you were saying there in appreciating what you're eating, even though it may not be the most nourishing for your body. Just the fact that you appreciate that you have something in front of you to be able to eat when there's so many people that are starving in this world, in another area that don't have anything to eat. And we should be thankful that we have access to being able to eat what is in front of us.
That's so true. That's so true. A lot of the people can't even find food. So it's important to be mindful of that every time. And that's wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in here and sharing your wisdom with all of us. I think like life balance and nutrition is such a big part of our lives. Like it's like you said, Elena, we spend a lot of time work and food. Like basically our life is all about that. Like we just do fun things, and fun things hopefully includes work, and then we eat, and then we move our body, and then we go to sleep, and that's sort of what life is. Ali, do you have any things coming up that you would like to announce or you'd like to share? I know you're working on a few things. Are you can you update us a bit about your courses if they're coming up, or your circle?
Yes, so I run a monthly women's circle. It's on Zoom. It's just like this in this format. It's for women to come and connect. And the reason I started this women's circle was last year, just during very uncertain times with the pandemic and the first lockdown. I was feeling isolated. I was living alone, and I was missing my friends. And I was like, what can I create? As I was in holistic nutrition school, I was like, what can I create to bring people together and share on this time that is just so uncertain and unpredictable? So I created Solace, which is my women's circle, and we come together to connect on all things that sort of encompass the female experience, but also bringing in our unique sharings. And it's a very interactive circle. And you're all welcome to join. I'd love to have you in Solace. And that will be on February 27th and will continue monthly. The topic changes every month, and this month is going to be about heart opening. So it's all about releasing any blockages from the past that stay stuck in our heart chakra, and that energetic field. And when we have those blockages there, we make all of our decisions and we go about life from this heart blocked place. So it's really important to find ways to shift that energy and to open the heart in order to live more joyfully and to live more in alignment with what it is we wish to cultivate in life, and to be more loving and self-loving as well. So that will be the topic in Solace this month. And yeah, February 27th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I believe that's 8 p.m. Eastern time.
It's on a Sunday, correct?
Yes, always on a Sunday.
Okay.
And you can reach out to me by email or Instagram. I'll put my contact in here.
And I just wanted to add, while Ali was talking, she's also now part of the GEMS Collective family and our collective really. And she's on the nutrition. She's really just started nutrition and, life balance guru at this point. So please feel free to reach out, to her through those channels as well. If you're looking for information ever, it's all there. And I know the whole next month for GEMS is focused on you and what you do and how you're helping people out there. So I'm sure our members are going to see a lot more of you, even though they're not here today. A lot of them wanted to, but things happen. But we'll still keep sharing your stuff for the whole month, really, so that people get to know you and they can connect with you if they need to on an individual basis as well.
Wonderful. Yes, I'm always open to connect. So please feel free to reach out and you can get to know each other as well.
Yeah, and yeah, Mighty Networks, I shared the link for our network platform. Karen, I know Susan is part of it, and we have, so there you can see the director of people. We have close to, I think, 50 people there. I can't remember right now, but so it's a growing community. Not everybody joins the monthly meetings, but we just keep it flexible, whoever can come. And now that with the different themes, we can, whoever is interested in which theme can come and share their questions. So yeah, thank you for joining. And yeah, Alanna, please feel free to share your event on your social media and tag us so we can reshare and announce it. And whatever you're doing this month, so we're all about nutrition. So Karen, did you have any intention joining to this meeting? So I guess we'll go around the circle again, and then we'll ask, like, if you have an intention, if you have something coming up, or if you wanted to ask a question, you still have some time. So we'll go around the room and share if there's something that we can help you with.
Yes, so I actually, I came across this through following you on Instagram. And so I just happened to see this event yesterday, and I signed up for it. And I think this is a really wonderful way for us to really build a great community and share with each other what we're doing. And it's a great way to spread the message about making the world a better place.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Susan, do you want to go next? Anything that's coming up for you? Any questions? Anything you want to share?
Pretty much ditto what Karen said. I think this is a great way to spread not just a good message, but a good feeling in the world. So I think it's just a beautiful initiative, and I thank you for starting this.
No,
And I look
thank you.
forward to following Alanna and learning more about what you're doing.
Yeah, amazing. P, do you have anything?
I just want to add to what everyone's saying. I'm loving how it's all finally coming together. Our goal was to create a space where you were, creating this balance that Alanna actually talked about it. Ali talked about today in her session. That little circle that she talked about. I think we were focusing on all of that when we created GEMS Collective, and you'll see on our Mighty Networks, we literally have each and everything subgrouped as well for people to just go and focus on one thing or the whole, sort of have a more holistic approach to their lives. That's what we do. We're going to have monthly sort of focuses now, starting like this one was their first one, and I'm so happy that we did it. So the next one might be more related to heart opening as well. In our case, it just turns out to be that way. So we'll see what else is coming up. And I just wanted to say that there's a lot more available in our or within our group and our community. So please feel free to explore and reach out to people. Everyone's like really nice, and everybody is very supportive and loves to share what they're doing. And go and follow everyone, and you'll see there's a lot of information out there that is going to be very helpful in any area of your life.
Yeah. Amazing. Ali, do you want to share a few more things, or if not, then yeah.
I'm good. I
last
just want to
word.
say thank you again. This was great. I really enjoyed this, and I hope everyone leaves feeling a little bit more high vibe and just ready to enjoy the day and find that joy and spark that joy today.
Fantastic. Yes, absolutely. Amazing. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining. And it's a pleasure to always host these monthly meetings, and see you all. And hopefully we'll see you next month. It's every third Friday of the month. And yes, stay tuned on our Instagram or join us on the Mighty Networks. And have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to
Thank
see
you.
everyone. Nice to see you in Mexico, AJ.
I know, it's so nice and warm.
Thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.